Hello, Oz here. Just wanted to give a brief update on some of the stuff I was working on from the dev side. This will be a little bit like my first devlog, basically. So, a lot of ground to get covered. Just wanted to start with some of the actual gameplay footage, see a little bit of what I was working on. So, currently, I implemented very basic fish tank. Just some really simple fish going on there. I know Noah was also attacking some of the fish movement, so didn't really focus on that too much. They're just kind of scrambling around here. But what we have here is basically the introduction to the base game, right? So we have these fish swimming in this modeled 3D tank in this room environment. All very primitive and very simple. Uh, So here the game has some very basic controls. I've listed a couple of them to the top right there, so I'll just kind of go through them. What we have now is basically a simple camera setup to orbit around the fish tank. And so this was implemented using Cinemachine, which made it a lot easier. Instead of having to code up a whole bunch of stuff, Unity has that built-in Cinemachine package, which makes it very easy. And so what we can do is now swap between the different fish and focus on them using the sticks from the gamepad controller, but since I'm on the keyboard right now, also have it implemented for the A and D keys as well as the arrow keys. So by pressing those, we'll just switch focus to another fish, and we can see that the camera now orbits around this fish that's in question, little Rupert here. So we can use our zoom wheel to kind of zoom in on him. That's about as far as I make it go for now, but we have control over the zoom level, in addition to where the camera is positioned at along this orbit around him as well. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and zoom out of Rupert. Maybe we'll switch over to Charlie. With each of these fish, we can see in the bottom left that the actual information about the fish is being updated as well. So with Charlie, we can see that he is 2 years older than Rupert, who's kind of a new fish around the block. Charlie is also green in color, and his speed is a little bit faster than Rupert apparently, but I don't see much of a speed difference here. So that'll be something to work out the bugs for, but this is all just very demonstration, like very base. The fish tank is also really small, just to note that a lot of this is just placeholder, getting the base functionality in there at first, and then we can kind of tweak and expand to get the feel right as we go along. And so finally there's Oscar. And so size is also another thing that I have in here. It just kind of scales the fish up and down. I actually don't have that really implemented. Well, it's implemented, but it's not. It's a little bit rough. I don't have it implemented for this demo, but can probably post some footage or some brief gameplay footage of it at some point later. So yeah, this is the view to look at the different fish, and then there's also the tank view. This shows up now kind of at the bottom left there, so it says we have 3 fish, and this is day 10 of running our fish tank. So this is kind of just like a proof of concept, like what information do we want to see from this view of the tank when we're not zoomed in on any particular fish and just want a general overview of what's going on with the fish tank. So there is that. What we also have implemented right now is, let's see, so we did zoom, cycle fish. We can feed the fish as well. So this comes in 2 steps. So the first step is, let's go ahead and open a little brief store view. So I'm going to press I. And this is a very simple store view. It shows the mouse, and it's just one single button, buy food. So we can see in the top right, or the top left rather, we have 0 food right now. And as I click on buy food, it's exchanging the money that I'm accruing every second. So I'm just getting one single dollar every second. And this increments the number of food that we have remaining here. So now we have 40 pellets of food. It's just kind of the placeholder food. So I'm going to press I to close the shop. That gets rid of it. And now with this 41 food, I'm going to go ahead and feed the fish. So what happens is I basically have for now just a static camera that the view shifts to. So this is another Cinemachine virtual camera. So anywhere you're looking, you press E, it says enter the feeding view, and it just boom goes to this static camera, and you have this box of food ominously floating over the fish tank. So what happens is you can press the mouse button, this left click, and this will actually shake the box and drop some food into the tank for the fish to consume. Sometimes it can drop out of the tank, sometimes it can drop on the side of the tank. It's very rough right now, but you get the idea. Right now the fish don't actually do anything with the food, it's just kind of there. But yeah, just another proof of concept thing. See what we think, how we want to imagine this. This is just kind of to get the ball rolling to see how we would like a lot of these things to be realized in the game. So yeah, just a really brief example of that. And so I think the last feature here, that's pretty much everything so far. The last feature here is actually the kind of scene transition placeholder slash save game. So what happens is when we press the space button, this will actually cause the game to go into this transition. And it'll save the game. Very much like something like an Animal Crossing type of effect. I think I saw that Lost had wanted this type of effect somewhere. Maybe not, but yeah, I think it'd be a cool way to transition between things like the store view, the different rooms, stuff like that, the menus, everything really. So yeah, some cool funky transitions. We can mess around with the shapes and stuff as well. Right now I just have it as that basic circle.